So, you keep hearing about all of these Souls and Souls-like games. You've seen the clips of epic boss fights and incredible worlds, but every time you think about jumping in, the stories of impossible difficulty and endless deaths just scare you off. Well, don't worry, because I'm here to help. The idea behind this video isn't to find the easiest Souls game, because that's not really the point of the genre. Instead, I've put together a list of what I consider to be the best first Souls games. These are titles that capture the spirit of the genre, but offer some features that make the challenge a little more manageable for newcomers. And if you have a game that you would add to this list, be sure to share it in the comments below. I would love to hear your suggestions. First up, we have Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. This is a game from Team Ninja, the same studio behind the Nioh series. It's set in a dark fantasy version of ancient China, and the combat is all about fast-paced parrying. Think of it less like a traditional Souls game, and more like a rhythm game with swords. The combat flow feels incredible once you get the hang of it, and it's super satisfying to deflect an enemy's powerful blow. The reason I think that it's perfect for beginners is its structure. Unlike a single massive open world, Wo Long is broken up into individual missions. This means you can focus on one self-contained challenge at a time, which is much less overwhelming. You also almost always have an AI companion with you, and they're not just for show. They'll fight alongside you, draw enemy attention, and can even revive you if you fall. Plus, the ability to save and swap between different character builds from your home base lets you experiment without a huge time investment. Next, we have the Star Wars Jedi games. These titles do an amazing job of blending the best parts of a Souls game with a more accessible mainstream action-adventure formula. You'll find familiar mechanics, respawning enemies when you rest at a checkpoint, and the need to go back and reclaim your lost experience points after you die. But here's the key: difficulty options. You can choose to play on a story-focused mode where combat is a breeze, or you can crank it up to Jedi Grandmaster difficulty, which is a genuine challenge. This lets you learn the core combat loop and mechanics at your own pace before taking on the real test. And let's be honest, getting to use a lightsaber and the Force in a beautifully rendered Star Wars galaxy is a pretty solid motivator to keep going. Moving on, we have Code Vein. Don't let the anime art style fool you. This game is a fantastic entry point. It provides a ton of information and tutorials that other games in the genre simply don't. While most Souls games drop you in and say good luck, Code Vein holds your hand just enough to help you understand its systems. You also get the option of always having an AI partner with you, similar to Wo Long, and they are surprisingly effective. They're great at helping you manage fights and can be a lifeline in a tight spot. The build system, centered around blood codes and gifts, is deep, but also incredibly rewarding. Once you get the hang of it, you can make some seriously overpowered builds that make even the toughest bosses a breeze. It's a great way to learn how to min-max your character without the usual high-stakes punishment. The next game is Steelrising. Set in an alternate history French Revolution where you play as a clockwork automaton, this game is a fantastic option for two huge reasons. First, it has a traditional pause button. I know it sounds simple, but in a genre where pausing is often impossible, this is a lifesaver. You can take a moment to breathe, read an item description, or just think about your next move. Second, the game offers a wide range of difficulty customization. You can tweak everything from how much damage you take to your stamina regeneration, and even completely disable the stamina system. This means that you can tailor the experience to your exact needs. The builds are easy to grasp, and while the enemy variety is a bit limited, that's actually a plus for a beginner. Once you learn the attack patterns of the few enemy types, you're pretty much set for the rest of the game. Next is my wildcard pick, Lies of P. When this game first launched, it was a brutal, unyielding homage to Bloodborne. I would have never recommended it to someone who was new to the genre. It was tough, it was unforgiving, and it did not pull its punches. However, with the release of the Overture expansion and the update that came along with it, it introduced a host of quality of life improvements and, most importantly for this video, a traditional difficulty setting. While I'm torn about its implementation, there's no denying that it makes Lies of P a fantastic entry point into this genre for people who are curious about it. Because Lies of P is an absolutely stunning game with an incredible combat system, and now you can experience all of that without the relentless difficulty. This is easily one of the best Souls-like games out there right now, and because of these difficulty options, it's accessible to everyone.
It should have been the two of us, locked in a fight to the death.
And finally, we have to end this list with a game from the masters themselves, From Software. And the one I would recommend to newcomers is Elden Ring. I know, the game is massive and can seem intimidating. However, Elden Ring is the culmination of everything From Software has learned over the years. It's their most polished and surprisingly most friendly entry point. The open world is the key. If you hit a boss that feels impossible, you can just turn around, explore a different area, find new gear, and come back later when you're stronger. This gives you so much control over the pace of the game. Co-op is also easier to set up, and you can summon powerful AI spirits to help you in boss fights. And the game does a much better job of explaining its systems than any of its predecessors. I personally know so many people who had never touched a Souls game before, and not only did they beat Elden Ring, but they became obsessed with it, getting all the endings and achievements. It's proof that this game is a perfect place for people who are curious about this genre to jump in and give it a try. So there you have it, a list of fantastic games that will give you a taste of the Souls experience without throwing you straight into the deep end. These titles are perfect for learning the fundamentals of the genre before you decide to take on the truly punishing classics. Let me know in the comments which of these games you would start with, or if you have other games that you would recommend to people who are curious about the genre and don't know where to start. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.